this conversation needed to happen, innit? A long time coming. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we've been speaking about it for like a few months now. We've known each other for a bit. We've seen both our journeys. So I feel like right now is the time for us to sit down and have this conversation.
Yeah, man. And I feel like where we are in both of our individual journeys as well, like I feel like even the convos we've had has been so much on growth and where our perspectives is in our industries and like what we want to achieve in life and our legacies and whatnot, bro. But I want to start this episode off with just understanding the history behind yourself, like your upbringing, your influence into music.
Yeah.
So let's start into that, bro. Like take me back to the early years of you.
So first of all, I just want to say I'm from a place called Hull. So Kingston upon Hull, which is East Yorkshire. Not too far away from Leeds, not too far away from Sheffield. It's like sort of at the end, bro. You don't really have to pass through Hull to go anywhere. So I'm just painting the picture. I'm from Nigerian heritage, or of Nigerian heritage. Brought up by my mum only. I've got a big sister. And I grew up on a council estate called Norfolk Estate, down a street called 21st Avenue. How I got into music was really through my sister and my mum. Music was always on in the house. My sister was like a big R&B fan, big rap fan. My mum was into like reggae and like Afrobeat, and she used to throw a lot of parties on the estate where I'm from, like Hull. At the time, it wasn't very multicultural, but my mum had a lot of friends from different backgrounds. Okay. So she used to bring them to the house. They used to party a lot. So music was always bouncing, man. And like, I feel like that's where the love came from. And I just used to like what my sister liked. And then I got to a certain age and started liking what I liked, basically. So that's how that's why I'm so into music. Music's just always been playing in the house.
And what about like school days as well? Like, was it obviously like as a kid, like especially with boys, like everyone's rapping, everyone's like making a beat on the table, and all that.
Yeah, that's something that I'm sort of semi-jealous of with sort of inner city kids, because I feel like in the big cities like London, Birmingham, Leeds, Sheffield, especially where there's a lot of black people, that was happening. In my school, it wasn't like that, bro. Like,
was it more like a white area?
It's a white, like Hull is like a very, very white area. Like it's got a lot better now, but back then when I was in school, very white. No one was like banging on tables, making beats or playing beats off a phone and everyone's spitting. That wasn't the flex, man. Like that wasn't happening, man. We all liked music, but no one was really into making rap music anyway. Yeah. Like Hull's known for like guitar music as well.
Yeah.
There's a few famous bands that have come from Hull. So I feel people did gravitate more to that sound. Me and my friends were the only ones really listening to like hip hop and rap. And I used to come to London a lot as a kid. So when I was coming to London, that's when I was hearing grime music. But yeah, no one was participating in any cyphers or anything like that, unfortunately. And I wish that was the case, because I probably would have got into music earlier if that was the case. But it just wasn't the cool thing to do, and it would have been very alien-like for that to happen in the school days. What did happen though was my love for music, in terms of performing music and writing lyrics, that sort of happened 16, 17 years old, really, at house parties. So that's when that sort of stuff, what you was talking about, started to happen a little bit.
Okay.
So we used to like put on like instrumentals and we used to just freestyle over them. And at the time I had a friend called Crafty who was actually like proper penning down bars, going to studios and actually recording. And when I was doing these freestyles, just messing about, not taking it seriously, he recognized the potential and he was like, you know what, you're actually quite good. Like, why don't you actually write rhymes down and record songs and write songs? So that's where the entry happened, really. So big up Crafty, because he's the one who first recognized the potential.
And that's really important. I feel like a lot of people in our communities don't talk about that, the idea of like mentorship and being around the right type of wing. I feel like, especially in London, like when we had elders around us, it was always around like bad activities and stuff. But for someone to see like that potential in you, and especially them being in that scene and really penning their game and fleshing that, like you never know where that bit of influence for you really kind of maps out your path, because look how beautiful your journey unfolded from that. So talk to me about how, when you did start like structuring your music and all that approach and stuff like that, what did that look like in those early bits of
So Armzy, you've got to think, you've just mentioned a scene. There was no scene. So what my boy Crafty was doing, he just decided one day, I'm going to start rapping. There was no like elders telling him to do it or anyone that looked like him that was doing it. He just liked Eminem and stuff like that and thought, you know what, I'm going to try this myself. And that's what I did. There was no, like I've really built this from the ground up. There's now people where I come from now want to be rappers and MCs because of people like me and people like Crafty. Before us, there was really no one. So to answer your question, what did it look like? There was a lot of ridicule. A lot of people took the mick, man. They were like, oh, why are you rapping? Like, why are you rapping in a Hull accent? Like, that's not cool. Like, why are you doing that? We don't do that round here. Do you know what I mean? That was like the general consensus. Like, people didn't recognize a rapper could ever do anything from our city. So, like I say, there was a lot of like people trying to break me before I even started. But I ignored them and I carried on doing it. And we had a collective called Lockdown. I still have the collective now. I got it tattooed on my skin. Lockdown. People think it's to do with the pandemic. Nah, we were screaming lockdown in like 05, 06. And it was me, Crafty, a kid called Rory, and another kid called Josh. And we had like a little studio in Rory's back room, and we used to just go there, write bars and record them. So that's how it looked like. But I always just knew about like verses, choruses. That's how I came into the game anyway, do you know what I mean? And then I was luckily able to put out my first mixtape. Like, because I sort of quit rapping when I went to uni and stuff, but I always say like my entry into the game was 2011, even though I probably picked up the pen like 05 or 6 times. So that's what it looked like. It didn't look like anything. We were just young kids messing around with lyrics, recording over like American instrumentals and some grime instrumentals and just putting it on MySpace and just seeing if we'd get a reaction. And like I say, we got a lot of ridicule, but luckily there was a few people who thought it was all right. Then we started doing shows at places like the Adelphi. And yeah, it just grew from there, really. But I'm not moaning about how I came into the game. It's built me.
Of course.
It's built me as a person. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, it's quite funny now when in Hull, like, everybody thinks I just became this sensation overnight, not realising that I couldn't even get booked for a gig because promoters would rather book an indie band or someone who sounds like Ed Sheeran, an acoustic singer. They don't realise the come up on the journey. It wasn't the in thing to do being a rapper, but I made it cool to be a rapper in Hull City.
That's a powerful thing for you to say, bro, and kind of reflecting on that. Like, it feels like you and your team and the people around you at the time were really the pioneers of like creating that sound and keeping true to your accents and your heritage around there as well. I feel like that's an important thing. I feel like in the scene, like before us, now and after us, people are always trying to shape themselves in some way, shape or form. And I feel like this is something that I always tell to artists, to really like be true and proud of where you're from, the environments that have built you, because that is what makes you stand out. And plus, what artists forget is that where you're from, you're not only creating a voice for yourself, you're creating a voice for the people around you, the people that don't have that voice. So for those that were really trying to stamp you down at the time, they're not wanting you to be that champion for them, because they're wanting to see themselves there. And it's kind of an upsetting thing where a lot of like haters or a lot of people that tried to downplay us, it's because we're doing these type of moves that they're not trying to, they're because they can't do it, it's like they try to ridicule people like us.
And it's because people fear what they don't understand. I was ahead of my time, really. I was. This confidence that I've got, ahead of my time. Like, you're from a council estate yourself, like, I've got a mantra called council estate confidence. And I feel like, especially where I come from, I feel like it's a bit different in London, because I feel like you Londoners are really proud of your areas. That's how I know. So I was having a conversation with you. I haven't been this far out in Northwest before, but I know these areas because of rappers, because they're proud to say, well, I'm from Kilburn, or I'm from Stonebridge, or do you know what I mean? I'm from Church Road, That's how I know these areas. I've never been to them, but I just know them. In Hull, I wouldn't say people are shouting, I'm from Hull, and being proud of it. That's what makes me very different. 21st Ave is on my skin. Do you know what I mean? That's the street that I come from. People know that street because of me. People know about Northwell Estate, HU6, because of me. And I've, like, obviously people in Hull know these areas, but they're not proud to shout it out. I am proud. I always made sure from the get-go that I was shouting out Northwell Estate, I was shouting out 21st Ave. And that's what makes me different. This is why I say I'm a little bit ahead of my time, because now people are doing it now. But people was embarrassed of it back in the day. I've always been proud of being from Hull. And I feel like you've got to be proud of where you come from. Yeah. Well, no, you don't have to be. You don't have to be. But I'm not running away from it. And this is what I tell all the young kids when people say, oh yeah, Hull's a shithole or blah, blah, blah. Like, but it's where you're from. You got to represent. Don't be rapping in another accent, which Hull rappers have done. Believe me, they've rapped in London accents and said things they don't do, talking about having guns and knives. You don't live like that. Be comfortable in your own skin. And I know that might be scary. Might be scary to look inside look in the mirror and look at yourself. That might be a scary place. But at least you know that you're not lying and you're fully representing yourself properly.
And I'm happy you said these things, because I feel like the word for the last couple of years has really been authenticity. And I feel like the only way you can actually be authentic in any industry you're in is just being yourself. Like, what's that cliche saying? Like, everyone else is taken, just be yourself. Like, all these cliches are like just overused truths. And like, because I speak to a lot of artists, and they're really I speak to them a lot on their process and their ideas and their topics. Like, a lot of them think outside and really think about like what the scene needs, and like what sounds they can change and all that. But really and truly, the things that they want to experiment in and the things that they want to kind of come to them naturally is a thing that, like, that's what's authentic. So trying to be like, okay, cool, this is what London's doing, or this is what Manchester's doing, or Scotland or Liverpool, and they're trying to talk about this, that, the other, and then like Hull and all these areas, they're looking around being like, okay, cool, I've got to sound like this person, that thing. Like, you're not being your authentic self, you're being drowned in that saturation of everything else.
It's because they see other people succeed in doing that. But you can't speak like that, bro. You're from Hull. You can't be, like, why don't you talk about what you actually do and own it and be like, yeah, I'm from Hull and I go to the pub and I drink 8 pints of Stella. Own it.
Sure.
Own it though. Like, let's not lie. If you live that life, say it with your chest. And I feel that's the problem with the whole music industry. It's not just the whole problem. It's like that people just don't know how to be themselves. It's just, to me, it's wild. I don't understand that.
I hear what you're saying, man, because that's something like I've always reflected on, especially as someone that's really been a camera person through this scene a lot. Like, I've been around the music scene. I know how people are in front of camera, how they are behind camera, how they think about ideas, how they think about distributing and marketing. So I've had an interesting perspective when it comes to that topic on just like trying to be authentic in this thing, because there's like everyone's just trying to carbon copy themselves and the scene. Like, people forget, like, music is something that has been embedded in humanity since the first human drum beat around the fire. Now it's at a point, like we were talking about outside, like where we can actually monetize and monopolize in these industries from our own artistries. And the thing that leaps bounds is just being yourself, bro. And that's why I love where you are now with your music and branding. Like, even yesterday and this morning, I was listening to the orchestral versions of Counseling. And what was the other one?
Rhythm of My Pain.
That one as well. Counseling was like, that really stuck out to me, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Not only because of the sound, and kind of the grade and kind of the aesthetic and whatnot, but even just the pain of the bars and whatnot, because I've been knowing you from coming up in grime. Like, we've had exchanges like during so many different periods when you were up and down in London. But let's segue into that, like where it comes to like how you're branding yourself now and that approach as well, especially being someone that really put Hull on the map and kind of understanding where you are on the map, but then now the way you're moving, because I feel like in the last few years you've really ramped up your positioning and branding. So kind of let's have a deep dive on that section.
You know what, bro? I was lost. I'll be honest with you. The music industry swallowed me, especially like the Black British music industry. I was obsessed with like being accepted by the in crowd, and we know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The main publications, and they was never showing me no love, and I was grafting my backside off, but they were never showing me no love, and I was like, why? And then I signed a terrible record deal, and they wanted me to be in that world as well, and like I felt like I wasn't good enough. So when I sort of parted company with the label in like, I think it must have been like 2019, I was in a bad way musically. I was like, I'm just not good enough. I'm not cut out for this. Like, I was like, I was thinking that, like, oh no, what am I going to do? And then I don't know, something just happened, and there was just something just happened in my body, and it was just like, you've got to go back to the drawing board. Go back to the reason why you started doing music in the first place. Like, I always say, like, probably my biggest song is a song called Darcy, and it's a bit of a gift and a curse. It's a gift in the sense that no one knew who I was before that song, so that it opened me up to a new audience. People in London started knowing who I am, Birmingham, like getting plays on Annie Mac, Mike Skinner, he's co-signing it, JK from Brum, he's co-signing it, and I'm in this world where I'm like, oh yes, I've this is sick. But where I think, where the con is before that, I was just a kid off a council estate making music. I didn't know about the music industry.
Different things.
I was innocent, naive. Like, all I cared about is going to these kid who's out there, his house, recording songs, putting them out, and whatever happens, happens. Then I got that little bit of love, and it changed. It made me desperate, really, because I just wanted to be accepted.
And is that, sorry to cut you, is that love from the scene?
The scene.
Okay.
The scene, the industry, like, yeah. But then I realised that it's all bullshit. It is. If you're not going to accept me for who I truly am, then I don't want you to be a part of my journey in the first place. But it took me a while to realise that. It took me having that bad experience with the label, and then me finding myself again, and then just like having this armour around me, like, yeah, man, I'm the Black Yorkshireman. I'm what? Yeah, my accent don't sound like everyone else's, but that's my selling point. I used to think that was my downfall. It's actually my selling point. Because you see, when I do these grime ciphers and everyone's spitting, yeah, like, drop that draw for the Mac and all that sort of Big up Esco anyway, by the way. R.I.P. Esco. I've just butchered his lyric, but I obviously love Esco. That's just an example. When I jump in with my Yorkshire accent, people just like drawn into it straight away. They're like, whoa, who's this guy? I didn't expect him to sound like that. I love shocking people. But I thought that was my downfall, but in fact, it's my selling point. And anyone who's not willing to accept me for being the Black Yorkshireman and a rapper from Hull who hangs around with majority white boys, then you can never be a part of my journey. You have to accept me. You have to. And if you don't, then bye, basically. I'm not changing for no one. I'm not conforming to no one. So this is why you see this new energy, misfit. I'm buying into it because I feel like I am a misfit, because I feel like I'm too black for the white kids and too white for the black kids. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
No one was doing rap music. I do rap music. Only black kid on my estate. I've always been the only one. So that's why I found myself calling myself a misfit. And I'm celebrating that fact. I'm celebrating my differences where before I didn't used to. So I found this new power, and I just want to inspire other people who feel similar to me. You don't have to even be a rapper. If you feel a little bit alienated and you feel like you're scared to do something new, don't feel like that. Just do it, because they're going to love you anyway. They're going to love you in the end, sorry. They're going to dish you at first, but by the end, they're going to be clapping, and there's going to be no better feeling.
That is powerful, bro, man. That is actually powerful.
I'm on my Malcolm X today, man. You get me?
This is why I built this platform, bro, for things like this, bro, because I feel like I want the artists that I know and the artists I want to get to know to really vent these things and their perspectives, man. Because I feel like a lot of the platforms out there are just focused on, oh yeah, like just your track, your release and whatnot. I want to know about the nitty gritty on what made you who you are today.
You want to know the backstory, don't you?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, because I've had these deep convos behind people, and I just love hearing the process on things, because it also makes me reflect on my journey. And I feel like what we're doing as individuals in our journeys is trying to be the people we needed around us at the time. You get what I'm saying? And what you finished off with about like the next generation and the person that feels like they're kind of sticking out and all of that. Like that's so important, bro. Like that, and that we need to champion that in every artistry. Like even when I'm talking to athletes and even like bloody scientists and whatnot, like bro, champion what you love, because there's people around you that love the same thing and they just don't have that voice. And it's like I forgot the thing, but like the first person that ever broke the running the mile in like X amount of time. Once he broke it, like 20,000 people broke it after. It just takes that one person to really set a domino effect. You know? And there was something important you said about like you lost yourself and found yourself.
Yeah, man.
I really want to kind of tap into it, obviously, with like how you like from how you started finding yourself. And I feel like in music and in any artistry in the creative scene, people are losing themselves all the time.
Massively, because everyone's trying to compete with each other. Everyone's trying, and people don't realise there's enough food on the table for everyone to eat. And I think that's sometimes as well, on a sidetrack, that's my frustration with the UK black music industry. There isn't just one way of making it. There isn't just one black experience. And that's what I promote so much. There's not just one black experience, man. There's the northern black experience. And even that, you can dice that down and dice that down. There's just experiences everywhere, man. Not every boy is a top boy character. Not every black boy anywhere. And I feel like that sometimes is like the stereotypical image. You have to be from the roads. You have to be bad. Nah, not everyone's like that. And I'm happy not everyone's like that. Imagine a world where everyone was just on badness.
On smoke, bro. No one would be here, bro.
So let's promote that in the music as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, bro, I just ain't got time to be anyone else except for myself. And I don't know how people have. I don't get it. Like, I feel like I'm at a stage in my life now where I really know myself that I don't really care, man. Like, one of my favourite bands is Spandau Ballet, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like Bon Jovi for me.
But do you know what I mean? Like, let's Like, why are black people, or why are we always so stiff and angry all the time, man?
There's really an underlining thing, bro.
Just enjoy yourself. Just enjoy yourself, man. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just happy I'm comfortable in my own skin. It took me a while to get there, but now I'm here, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I can release a song called Counselling and speak about me going counselling. Do you know what I mean? And feel no way about it. Maybe I'm lucky, and hopefully people can get to that stage in life, do you know what I mean, where they can just be vulnerable and be an open book. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm an emotional guy, not an emotional guy in sense of crying, but if I believe in something, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it passionately.
That's powerful, man. And I feel like in our culture, and especially as men, when the word vulnerability is always put out there, or when we talk about emotion in those type of forms where we can use emotion to drive things, I feel like it's not championed enough, because most time in our cultures and communities, we're focused as don't cry as men, don't be soft, don't do all of these things. So you're building this like shell from a child, like whether you're around your uncles, like even with me, like growing up, like a lot of my uncles were always like, when I hurt myself, they're like, get the fuck up, man, like, man up, man up, like that. You get no tears around here, all those things.
But a real man shows his emotions, though.
You know what I'm saying?
A real man, if you're a real man, you show your emotions
and knows how to control it as well.
Yeah.
That's the important thing, to know how to channel it, because you're really heavy in boxing as well. So, and that is something that, like, I feel like has a way for your output, not only musically but physically in itself.
Yeah,
as
like sport is something I've always done, though, and it's something now that I really, really appreciate. Going to the gym and just going, like, so you talk about boxing, that's like a way for like me and some of my old school mates just to stay in contact. We'll meet every Wednesday and we'll just beat the hell out of each other. We'll just do like rounds upon rounds of sparring. And then obviously we just laugh about it and shake hands when we leave. Do you know what I mean? Like, that sport is a massive thing for me. I played for the same football team for like 14 years. I'm the old guy now. Got all these youngsters coming through, but I'm just there for the morale. I just love being part of a team. Do you know what I mean? I always have done. I've played football since I've been like 9, 8 years old, just playing on the streets, and used to love a game of heads and volleys and cuppies and stuff like that. I've always just done fitness and sport and being outside, because I feel that does so much for your mental. And I never realised that until like the last couple of years. Like, I need to go to gym. I need to go to gym at least 5 times a week. If I don't, I'm just like questioning myself. I feel guilty, but I need that. It gives me discipline. So yeah, like exercise. And then I did a sports degree as well. So I've always just been into staying active and learning about the body and how it moves and stuff like that.
Interesting. And is that like what you said about like the last few years, like you've really appreciated that? Is it because of like maybe the stresses from music and it's like created, is that like another like curriculum of your like breakout time from outside of music and stuff?
Yeah, I think you need time out of the music industry, and also a bit of advice: you need friends that are not in the industry, friends that don't care that you're a rapper, friends that don't care that, oh yeah, you did Glastonbury, so what? Like, you still just Chiedu off Norfolk Estate to me. Do you know what I mean? That's what you need, friends like that. Sometimes you need to be humbled and realise as well that you're impressing an industry. I don't really care about you. These are your real people. People who have known you from being young, or people that you went to school with, or people that you play football with. Do you know what I mean? That, I feel like you need them values in your life. And I feel like the reason why I loved the reason why you said over the last few years you realised how much sport's done for you, is I like the feeling of like pushing yourself, that your body can do mad stuff. It still fascinates me how you can one day be like proper hench, and then in a couple of months you can have like a runner's body. Do you know what I mean?
Or super chubby.
Yeah, chubby or whatever. But just, it fascinates me, and I love the feeling of pushing myself. I love that, because in lockdown I got into like doing runs, like 5k runs, 10k runs.
Are you a part of a run club right now?
Nah, not now. But I got.
the thing right now.
But before that,
yeah.
Like I say, I've always been into sport, but I never ran, because my excuse was always like, oh, I ain't running, I'll get too tired. But what sport gives you, it gives you an opportunity to push yourself. And that's what I like about it.
And do you translate that back into like your music and what you're doing, branding as well? Because like you said, like if you're pushing yourself physically.
My only competition is myself. Them boys out there will tell you. Them boys out there will proper tell you that I am really hard on myself. Like really hard on myself. That's why I ain't got time to I couldn't care about what another rapper's doing. I couldn't give a damn. I care about what I'm doing and how each show can get better. Like last night we rehearsed. These two out there, they didn't want to rehearse. But I wanted to rehearse because at least I know to myself, when I go on that stage tonight, I've left everything out there. Do you know what I mean? At least I know. Because then if we didn't rehearse last night and I messed up a lyric on stage, I'd be thinking, oh, it's because I didn't rehearse last night.
Yeah, you're going to beat yourself
I'm going to beat myself up. So I always have to keep my mind ticking like that. Like my producer's out there, the guy who makes all the beats, D's Kid, he records me as well. He'll tell you when I'm in the studio, I'm a nightmare. That's why I don't even like going to studio sometimes, because I will do about 20 takes for a song. Not 20 takes for a song, 20 takes for a verse. Like, I'll say to him, oh, you know that word? Did it sound a bit weird? He's like, nah, it sounded fine, Chiedu. I'll go in and do it again. Do you know what I mean? I'm a bit of a psycho like that. But at least I'll know I've left everything on the table by the time you lot hear it.
Done the best to your ability.
Yeah.
To like, and I feel like it's important what you said about the rehearsal bit, because I personally know artists that don't rehearse.
And you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
And it's because like we're in an ego-driven industry as well. Emotionally driven industry, so people are really like, oh yeah, I don't need to. People are banging my track. I just need to. You get it? Like they don't even have a PA version. They'll be spitting over the MP3.
Don't get me started on that,
bro. We're gonna get started on that shit, bro.
Don't get me started,
for me, bro. Like
those
little things, like those little things, bro. Like are so to me as not only a person behind the scenes of stuff. Like when I'm in the crowd listening to music as well, and I'm hearing a non-PA version over it, I'm just like. This whole time I've invested into you, into either buying your merch, listening in, subscribing to your thing, and you can't give me the best performance possible. But then when I hear a PA version or a non auto-tune on the thing, like bro, I love it. Like that, I love it even when an artist slips up that 1-2 word because it's an authentic thing.
Yeah.
Even though for yourself, like that's something you're like cool. It happens.
Mate, cool, I'll lose sleep over that.
Interesting.
I'll lose sleep over it, mate. Them two out there will tell you I'll lose sleep over it. I'm all, but then again, this might be a me problem, because people have said to me, Chiedu, you need to enjoy the moments. I've achieved a lot. Considering I'm a rapper from Hull City, I've achieved a lot, but I still don't think I've achieved enough. That's the mentality I've always got. Glastonbury.
Enough, yeah.
I performed at Glastonbury. Biggest performance of my life. As soon as I got off stage, I was moaning, I was depressed. I was like, what's next? Anyone else would be enjoying the moment. I've just done Glasgow, like, where's the drinks? I came off, I was depressed, man. I was like, is that it? 30 minutes, all that build-up. And it makes me sound ungrateful. I'm not ungrateful. I thank God every single day for all the opportunities that I've had. I just want more though, Armzy.
Where does, and that's something that I'm really interested in as well. Like, where is that consistent drive coming from? Do you feel like that's something like through your family, through blood? Is that something that you were nurtured around? Is it due to when you are coming up in the game and you were proving people wrong to be your authentic self? Like, where do you feel like that drive of trying to be the best version of yourself is, even though the team around you, and you have a great team as well, for them to tell you like, cool, this is where you need to be. So for you to really be grounded and try to find that drive for yourself, like where do you personally feel like it comes from?
I think it's because I've got like this image in my head of where I need to be. But then I know when I get to where I need to be, that's still not going to be enough. I just think that I feel like I've got a lot of people I'm carrying a lot of people. Like, I really want to retire my mum. Do you know what I mean? I'd love it for her to go back to Nige and just be like, yeah, son, I've come to this country and I've achieved everything because my son, he's made it and he sent me back.
Yeah.
Peed up. I don't have to worry about it. Like, that's a big motivation of mine. And I feel like, yeah, it could be as well, like, people doubting me. It could be that. I don't really know how to answer that question, you know.
But I'd love for you to think about that.
Where that drive comes from, I can't. I just thank God every day for two things: for being resilient and being determined. Because sometimes I don't even know where I get it from. Loads of people would have given up. And I'm not saying I've had the hardest life, because I am. There's people that have had miles more harder lives than me and been through miles more trials and tribulations. But, like, I really struggle to give myself a pat on the back. Really, really struggle. That's something that I don't know. It's maybe an insecurity thing. I don't know. But I feel like it's definitely a gift and a curse, because I should enjoy the moments.
And it's important. Sorry to cut you, bro. Like it feels like subconsciously you can naturally gauge it on and off, because I don't think, even though you might be doing all these different disciplines at the same time, you're hard on yourself to get to a better thing, and understanding that motivation of sending mum back home, making her have a fruitful life. And this is what I always tell my siblings as well, like with my mum and that as well, like, we're like, my mum went through so much shit for her to get into this country, and like having me on her back at 1 year old. So the reason why I'm so fucking hard on myself and trying to build these things is not for myself, bro. It's for that reason in itself. And I feel like if people start having that understanding of where their drive and motivation comes from, everything will fold 10 times more. And
but I think that's probably the main reason, though. Giving back to my mum, because I've let her down on many occasions. So she's the main motivation, most definitely. But being hard on myself, I don't really know totally where that properly comes from. I just think, like, I just want to be the man of the house. And I've always been told, yeah, you're the man of the house, your dad's not around. But I want to proper feel like I'm the man of the house. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one in my family has to worry about anything. My sister, my mum, nobody. And until I get there, man, I've just got to keep on climbing that mountain.
Climbing, punching shit down.
Yeah, man.
But bro, I would love to know now that I'm understanding this drive and your thought process on this, how do you balance that with your team as well, to know where things are enough to your ability and to what you and the team can sign off, or the management and everything else, label or whatever? Like, how do you find that middle ground between everything and also the audience you're catering to as well?
It's a good question, that. I feel I just got to match man. I feel you got to match my work ethic and match my drive and match my ambition. Once I start hearing, oh, you can't, then I start thinking, are you really a candidate to be in my team? Because really, the world's the oyster, man. There's no such. I very much live by that. Like, anyone can achieve anything if you put your mind to it. I strongly believe that. I do. And what was you saying about the fan base, though?
Oh, the fact, like, the middle point between what you want the team and what the audience are looking for.
Maybe I'm selfish. I don't really think there is a middle ground. That's what sort of. I went on a bit of a tangent then. Yeah. I'm going back to what I said a moment ago. Like, yeah, like, there isn't really no middle ground. Like, I get it. I will take people's feedback, and I'm not like a monster, but I just want more, man. I just want more. Like, the middle ground is, yeah, you've got to compromise. And I feel like I'm not bad at compromising. I'm not bad at compromising.
There's just a strong benchmark of
There's just a strong benchmark of compromising. Because I think I'm good. And why not? If who's gonna love me if I don't love me? So the middle ground, compromise.
That's interesting, bro. How is the scene up there now? And the surrounding scenes where it comes to like the other cities? Because like as myself, like I travel up and down the country. Like even tomorrow, I'm going up to Scotland for my friend's tour. Shout out Harry. I actually need to connect you two because I think both your sounds are gonna be so fucking interesting, bro. But how is the relating sounds and scenes around you?
It's strong, I suppose. Yeah, I think it's strong, man. Like some decent artists and MCs up north. Obviously, the Manchester lot of smashing it. Do you know what I mean? There's some great artists in Sheffield. There's some good people in Leeds. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel, yeah, like Bradford are obviously on their little Chava sort of stuff. Like it's not for me, but credit where credit's due. Do you know what I mean? They've killed it. Bad Boy Chiller Crew and some other people. Do you know what I mean? Have absolutely smashed it. So fair play. I feel like the sounds are good. I feel like there's always room for improvement though. But there's a lot of sick artists up north, and I do feel like we do get forgotten about a little bit. But I'm not a fan of excuses, so we just need to go harder.
Do you feel like there's enough unity up north more than it is down south around here?
I think that's the problem with everything. I think like there's loads of artists that I should have really worked with, really. Ego seems to get in the way a lot of the time. Ego's the devil, unfortunately. But yeah, I think there's a decent amount of unity, but again, it could be better. I feel like up north we just need like a better infrastructure. That's what's letting up north down, is just the infrastructure. Like NQ are doing amazing bits in Manchester. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard that EMI North, first major label to be opened up outside of the capital. That's now. I know Warner are coming down to Newcastle. So, yeah, we just need more infrastructure because I think that's what lets us down. I think that's why you Londoners are smashing it, because you've been around for time. You've been able to build an infrastructure, labels, PR, marketing. We haven't really got loads of that up north. I feel until that happens, until we have like a proper scene of our own where we don't have to keep on coming to London to do shows and meet industry people. Like when we've finally got our own thing, then you'll probably see more unity and you'll see more artists developing from up north. But there is loads. There's loads killing it. Loads. Absolutely.
And what about like the sense of community and stuff as well? Because I've always known up north, like whenever I'm any city up north, or any town up north, bro, people are so friendly, man.
Yeah,
like,
we're the best, man.
They're beautiful, bro. Like,
we're the best,
bro. Inviting me over for tea. And
come on.
Bro, I've never been asked to be invited over for tea. Like, cool, go to a coffee house and that, but someone invited me over for tea up in like.
Man said a coffee house.
I was like, well, like
a coffee house,
like a cafe, innit?
That's not coming around for. Come on, bro. Like, nah, like literally. That northern. That's why I'm so proud to be northern, man. I feel like no discredit to Southerners or Londoners.
Of course,
we really know about community, man. Like we say good morning to people we don't even know. Do you know what I mean? Like today, just now, like I was on the escalator, King's Cross, bumped into someone by accident, and I said sorry. Turn around, he was shocked that I said sorry. That's like. It's mad. Like where we come from, we say good morning. Like we know our neighbours. Do you know what I mean? Like we say all right to people we don't even know. You all right? Nod of the head. Like yeah, man. And that's what it's about. And I'm lucky, like I say, that I'm from there. And before I used to discredit it, discredit being from Hull, but it's my selling point. I've got a city that love me to bits because they've seen me graft. Do you know what I mean? I'm one of their own. That's how they see it. And I don't really get much hate in Hull. To be honest, I don't, because it's a community.
And you see how, like, when was that turning point for you where you started to be perceived a bit differently in your community, where you're like, okay, bro, like more people are coming up towards me, or people are like recognizing me a lot more? When was that turning point for you?
Like mad popularity. Uh,
Even not mad popularity, but like when things started to pick up, and then like maybe you might be going shopping and someone's like, "Hey, bro, like what? I've listened to your track," and you're
I'd
just like,
probably say like started changing a little bit, probably 2017, I reckon. But now it's mad. It's mad in Hull for me now.
is it
Yeah, it's mad.
good?
It's mad.
Like how is it now? Like, is it a thing where like you can't walk certain places because you might be bombarded, or is it a thing where like
Well, I'll tell you, my manager will tell you, she came to Hull one time. First time she's ever been to Hull. Took her on a night out. Crazy. Crazy. Every minute. Chiedu. Every minute. Mad. Like, so this, I don't really like going in the town centre too much, to be honest. Can't bother to speak. Like, I love, like, don't get me wrong. Of course I love the attention. Of course I do. I'd be lying if I said I don't. I love the fact that I'm recognised for the music and people really say some amazing stuff to me. But yeah, sometimes I do want to just go to shop for a bag of Haribo and I don't want to have a conversation. But at the same time, I can't be mad because I signed up for this life and I'm happy it's got this far and it's only going to get bigger and better. So I need to get used to it.
that's beautiful, bro. And what are like the three things you've learned about yourself from that beginning of like when you were spitting bars on an instrumental in a house party to where you are now? What do you feel like the three main things you learned about yourself?
That's a good. You're coming with the good questions today, man.
Like I told you, man, off the cuff today, bro.
Definitely resilience, though. Learn how resilient I am. Like the story's mad, Armzy. We hadn't even really touched on it. From where I've come from, you wouldn't believe I shouldn't be sat in this chair, and that ain't me trying to like make it sound real dramatic. I come from a tough area, man, and not many kids have done anything with themselves off that area. Wasn't academic in school. Was told I wasn't good enough at school. You're only allowed to come back for your exams. Like, constantly in dramas with the police. First got arrested when I was 10 years old. Like, I'm not supposed to, judging by the system, I'm not supposed to be sat in a chair having a conversation with you about my life. I went on a little holiday in 2007. Came out, went to university, got a degree. Do you know what I mean? When that's mad. My primary school teacher, if they said, what would Chiedu Oraka be? They definitely wouldn't have thought I would have got a degree. Or I'd be a rapper. Like, I've got friends now. Some of the people that used to teach me are now my friends.
Mad.
This is what I'm saying. That's the resilience. That also builds into being determined. So I've learned I'm really resilient.
That's one.
I've learned that I'm really determined.
Two.
The last one.
This one's got to be a right hook from Chiedu, you know.
God.
I know you're digging deep.
I am digging deep, man. I'm really digging deep, that last one. Okay, and I've learned that I'm a bit of a socialist. Like, I'm a bit of a man of the people. Like, I come up with these mantras all the time, like counsellor state confidence, and like, I feel like I'm a proper man of the people. And I never signed up for this. When I first started rapping, I never signed up for it. I didn't care. I just care. I just wanted to have fun. But I've realised that there's a lot of people depending on me. Like, I am the voice of like a bit of a lost generation. And I love that responsibility at the same time. I'm not shying away from it. I actually love having that responsibility. Like, so I know I've got to lead by example. And again, that's another pressure that I put on myself. So yeah, they're the three things.
Bro, that's beautiful, bro. I want to slowly wrap this up, with you dropping some gems for the next generation? Like you kind of touched on some subjects earlier. What do you feel like the upcoming generation in music or in the creative arts or any discipline they're in, they wanna like you wanna give them?
I feel like, and I know we've touched on it already, but being authentic should be number one. Don't do anything if you don't feel comfortable. Don't do anything just because someone else has got popular from doing it. Really try and know yourself. Try and surround yourself with people, going back to that middle ground thing. Of course, compromise, but also try and be around people that inspire you. And that's why, not trying to blow my own trumpet too much, I don't know why I get this resilience and determination, because when I was growing up, the elders on my estate, like, yeah, I looked up to them, but most of them would turn out to be druggies, drunks, or dead. And a lot of the kids of my generation have followed their footsteps. I followed just my own. Don't be a sheep. And I know it's hard, everyone's circumstances is different, but just try and be around people that inspire you. Try not be around people that you're just having the same mundane conversations about. Because I tap out sometimes. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm in the pub with some of the lads, or some lads who I used to hang around with, and I just daydream because I'm not interested in who's got a nice car, who's harder than who's got this money from doing. I don't care. Run your own race. Compete with yourself. And leave no excuses on the table. Don't leave this earth thinking or knowing I wanted to do something, but I just didn't do it because. And you start pulling out loads of excuses. Eradicate the excuses, man. Put yourself first and go win.
That is powerful, bro. That is.
I told you I'm on my Malcolm X thing today, bro. Man.
And bro, like I was saying, when building this thing, there's only so much we can compact into this conversation. And like I was telling the other guests, like I'm not trying to build this platform for just like one and gun conversations.
No.
Like, this is going to be on-rolling things. Like I want us to look back when we're fucking 60, 70 and look back at like all the conversations we've had. There's going to be part 2s, 3, 4s.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All these things.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the past, I think when we first were properly talking about like stuff we've been talking about, I think I approached you on coming up to Hull and doing a mini documentary with you.
Cool, man.
So I think that's going to be a next thing of that. That's going to be
take you to the Gardener's Arms. Come, bro.
Let's go, bro.
I'll take you to some spots, bro. I'll take you to Yankee Land, bro. I'll take you to...
Yankee Land, yo.
Yeah, that's my mate. That's my mate's like restaurant, bro.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah. It's
bro.
Good food, bro.
Lastly, I want to wrap up with just getting a little bit of insight of where you're going to be going. Like, you've got your show tonight.
Got my show tonight at the Lower Third. Obviously, this is going to come out after. But I think the last show I've got this year is in Leeds on the 12th of December, the day after my birthday, actually. And yeah, man, I've got my own beer out, the Misfit beer.
Interesting.
Got my own merch, ChieduOraka.com. Anything you want to know, just go on ChieduOraka.com.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a hoodie still.
Or like follow me on my socials, Oraka LD, that's on Instagram and on Twitter. I'm outside, like I'm just trying to be the best version I can. I know that sounds real cliche, but it's facts.
It is what it is, man.
So yeah, man, I'm just here, man. Big up my team, do you know what I mean? Big up Emma, big up Dees, big up Joe, do you know what I mean? The Lockdown Boys. Yeah, man, make sure you go listen to Misfit as well. Dropped 2 orchestral versions of 2 songs off there, brought out a deluxe version. So yeah, man, we're working hard. Next year's going to be beautiful. By the grace of God, anyway.
Bruv, that is so beautiful, Che. Thank you so much for your time.
No worries, big
I'm
man.
honoured we can finally have this conversation, bro.
Yeah.
And for me, Like it's a whole beautiful journey for myself, and gravitating towards great people like yourself, just shedding a bit of light on your stories and your motivations and your inspirations and stuff. To me, I feel like I learned so much through conversations, and I'm honored to get your perspective of how it is up north and everything you've just said today. And it's only a drop in the ocean of
definitely. But we could have spoke forever.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? We could have spoke forever, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, thank you for having me.
Thank you, bro.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it means a lot. I just want to just share my story. Share, like, the Northern Black experience. Do you know what I'm saying? There isn't just one Black experience.
You need to write a book. The Northern Black Experience.
Come on,
management, if you're seeing this.
Maybe in the works.
Sure.
Thank you, bro.
Bro, love, man. Thank you so much.
Legend, man.
Love, man.